Female, Episode 16, In the Mood. Niece, I sat in my introduction to filmmaking class, feeling like I wasn't talented enough to be in an art program at Harvard, but beginning to become more and more fond of my professor, who was also my advisor, Todd, with 2 Ds. He was in his late 40s, but already on a tenured track. I could tell almost immediately that he was a dad of daughters. He was the perfect balance of firmness and calm. And on this particular day, his strength of personality was on full display. The art program at Harvard let in a few concentrators who were not art concentrators into the studio classes because they felt it would bring a fresh perspective to those of us who lived and breathed the program. There was a girl in my filmmaking class who was a math concentrator. We never really spoke directly, but I often overheard her complaining about her problem sets and how difficult they were. Prior to this particular class, we had to create a short black and white film on a Bolex. This was a cool little camera from a long time ago, the type of camera you had to go to school to have access to. The film didn't need to be long, only 3 to 5 minutes, but it did have to be edited, which required more time than the actual filming. There were only 10 of us in the class, and the class was 4 hours long, so there was plenty of time for each of us to show our work and have it critiqued. The class was moving along nicely until Todd got to the math concentrator. He asked her to present her work, and she said, "I didn't do it. I had a problem set due, and I didn't feel like it. Wasn't in the mood." Todd did not hesitate. "I do not care what you do or do not feel like doing. You don't ever show up to this class with your work not being done. If you're not in the mood, then you get in the mood." She never responded, and we never saw her Bolex film. I assumed Todd failed her for that assignment, so there was no reason for her to make it up. But for the rest of the year, no one ever dared to show up to class without their work being done. We worked through every hour of the 24 available to ensure we honored all of Todd's deadlines. I always remember that day because Todd's response surprised me. I swore he was just going to tell her to turn it in next class or say something like, "We can discuss this after class," but to call her out in front of everyone and make an example of her? That was the last thing I thought he would do. I'd never seen or heard anything like it up until that point in my entire time in school. And all I could think about was how I didn't want anything like that to happen to me. From what I could piece together, she never took another studio class. I guess she thought what good was filmmaking when she knew math? I kind of understood how she felt because I always thought, what good was math when I could write? I'd take words over numbers every day of my life. Outside of that incident, Todd was a wonderful, wonderful professor and advisor. He would take me to lunch in the square for my advisee meetings. He always ordered a coffee as I ate a sandwich, a snack, and a drink. Never want to miss a free meal, I showed up hungry, knowing that he would pay for everything. He guided me through the program and through the difficult bits of my life. When I had to take time off due to having bipolar disorder, he was right there with his cup of coffee and ear to listen to all of my problems and delayed aspirations. He had wonderful advice and everlasting impressionable words of encouragement. He helped me get through to graduation and beyond, because even once I'd graduated, he would still meet with me and buy me lunch, all the while enjoying his hot brew. I didn't realize how much I depended on him until I moved back to New York, but then I realized he'd gotten me to a point where I was okay on my own. I would go back to Cambridge for a visit and buy him a coffee. I'd sit and listen to him and think of that day in my intro to filmmaking class when he called out a math concentrator. So often in my life I told myself, "Sia, I don't care what you do or do not want to do. If you're not in the mood, then you get in the mood." And it worked. I worked just a little bit harder, just a little bit longer, to get to the point where I love to do what I'm doing. Take note of the things you don't want to do or aren't in the mood to do. Those may be the best things you ever do. Until next time, this is your Aunt Sia saying, stay strong, stay healthy, and know that you are loved.
We can learn together, we can grow forever.
Hey, it's the best kept secret.
We can learn together, we can grow forever. I am not my hair, I am not my skin. I am a vessel of love and soul within. I am black bipolar female. I am black bipolar female. I am not my hair, I am not my skin. I am a vessel of love and soul within. I am black bipolar female. I am black bipolar female. Let me tell you where I've been, who I am, what I do, why I stand, how I live, what I think, what I love, what I am. Black bipolar female. Yes, ma'am. Any questions you can ask, what I don't know I will pass. I will help you understand all the ups, all the downs, all the smiles, all the frowns, all the whys, all the hows. Walk the journey with me, the road is full of wows. We can learn together, we can grow forever. We can learn together, we can grow forever.